This prayer garden is becoming one of my favorite places on God's earth. Maybe it's because my salt from my tears and the sweat of my labor is in this ground forever. This bird was here just a minute ago eating some worms because, hey, I'm not going to get in the way of your lunch, little friend. You go right ahead and you eat up. Yum, 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 yum. I haven't had any breakfast yet, but I got a cup of coffee there. I was a little bit saddened when the bird flew away. And I sat down, had a sip of coffee, started my camera. Well, and the bird came back, so thank you for that. I would put a $2 bill where that bird is eating their worms. But see, that bird didn't want money. He's repulsed at the thought of it. I'm going to pray a lot. I'm going to go to church today, and I have an envelope here next to me. And if I put this envelope in a mailbox near me right now, things might change for my life. I had a moment like that years ago now where I put 3 envelopes into the mailbox at the Neenah post office. I put a blue note, a blue envelope, a red envelope, and a green envelope into the mailbox. And well, my life changed forever after doing that, and it changed for the better. Those 3 envelopes were a goodbye letter to a place that I call the monastery. This letter is a goodbye letter to a place in town here in Neenah called the Friendship Place. If I put this letter into their mailbox, they got to have a mailbox, I assume. That's my way of saying goodbye. There's a story to be told about my adventures with the Friendship Place, and I'm working on that today. And I hope that somebody else learned something from this story besides me. I think that's a fair thing to ask for today on this beautiful Sunday. There's the prayer garden. Makes me feel that I'm sitting on the right bench today, doing what I'm supposed to be doing today. One of the most interesting encounters I've had in town happened at a bench waiting for the bus stop here on Commercial Street. There was a sweet looking old lady sitting, minding her own business, and I said hello to her, and she just ignored me. I said, are you doing okay, ma'am? She ignored me like she was a statue. And I wasn't sure if she was having a medical emergency or if she was just kind of, you know what? I do not suffer fools, sir. I'm not going to waste my time validating you and your greetings, your salutations with a response. So I went into my fanny pack, grabbed some sidewalk chalk, and wrote her a sweet poem of kindness in front of her. Then I wrote, "Kindness has no limits" on the sidewalk next to her. Said, "Hey, ma'am, I hope you have an amazing day today." And then I left. I won't forget that moment. A lot of times when I write a letter or say hello or try to make the world a better place, I'm going to leave my coffee there. I only have so many hands. I get ignored, and that does not bother me in the least. I'm going to go to a church soon, and near that church, there is the old post office. And the old post office has two statues in front of it of lions. And I plan on writing a poem today about a lion. And I'm not going to write it here on the sidewalk in front of the Friendship Place because I said I wouldn't do it. But I will pick up some spicy buffalo sauce packets because I try to make the world a little bit better with each and every step. The blinds here at the Friendship Place are new. And I cannot help but feel that I might be the inspiration behind those blinds. The poem that I'm going to write today about a lion, I'm going to write on this sidewalk here, public sidewalk. Yeah. See where that red thing is kind of sticking out of the wall right there? I think that's where I'm going to put my poem. That looks just about right. But before I do that, this is going to kind of be one of those videos that I make that's way, way out of sequence. Oh, there we go. There's no going back now. My story with the Friendship Place does not start at the Friendship Place. It starts over here, down the road a little bit at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, one of my favorite places on God's green earth. I had a gentleman that I spent some time with, trying to learn from and trying to teach. His name is William. I call him $2 Bill. He and I were at this church. I was bringing William here for one of the free community meals so that he could spend some time with other people of faith, other people of kindness, other people that were lonely and could use his energy, his wit, his charm, his jokes, his card tricks, his balloon animals, whatever the situation called for. My friend, former friend, $2 Bill is a man of many talents. But anyway, while we were in the parking lot, we saw an old gentleman, addled, confused, walking around lost. I look like that all the time, so I have empathy for people that are walking around addled, lost, and confused, not knowing where they're going in life. His name was Kevin, so I jumped out of my car and said, "Hey, my name's Gerald, but everybody in town calls me Gabe's dad. Can I help you?" And he's like, "Yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm looking for the Friendship Place." "Oh, I know where that is. I've walked by it a dozen times." So William waited in the car because he's not the most mobile human being. He uses a walker. But Kevin and I went for a stroll. past the Theta Care print sign facility here. We talked a little bit about his day, and I could tell that he felt comfort in my presence. Having someone that is dedicated to helping you when you're in trouble, that's a good feeling. So we walked up here, past these windows. Under these awnings, I remember looking in this window for the first time and saying, hey, that looks like a nice place to sit down, relax, and have a talk with people. And there's a sunflower right there. Sunflowers are kind of like one of my favorite symbols of all time because it reminds me of my best girl, Andrea, my wife. And we walked up to this window, which didn't have the blinds, and there were a bunch of people inside working on puzzles, jigsaw puzzles. So I came up to the door, opened it, walked inside, introduced myself, and Kevin sat down. There was a lady inside that I would come to learn later. Her name is Hope. Not the same Hope from WG. I don't think Hope's mom and the Hope that are in the Friendship Place are related. No, I don't think that for 1 second. But I introduced myself to Hope and said, hey, this is Kevin. He was looking for this place. And the first thing that came out of Hope's lips were, do you have a mental illness? That made me immediately think of the movie The Princess Bride, where the man in black replies, do you always start conversations this way? And I said, no, not to my knowledge. And she said to me, well, then you can't be here. I thought that was very, very, very interesting. The next chapter of the story of me and the Friendship Place is different because that wasn't there. There used to be a mural of the Kool-Aid Man bursting through that wall, which in my opinion is one of the most important pieces of art that's ever been on display in Neenah, Wisconsin. That's not bad, but I love the Kool-Aid Man. The Kool-Aid Man and I, well, we have a way of making an entrance. This bench is where the people that smoke cigarettes sit and light up when they're visiting the Friendship Place, because there's no smoking inside. And there's an individual I see all the time when I walk past this place. I go to St. Thomas Church, I go to WG Printing, I'm going to be going to the Healing Place down the road, I go to St. Thomas, I go to St. Paul's. You know, I'm in this neighborhood all the time, like almost every day. So I'm going to cross paths with the Friendship Place for forever. That's just kind of the way it is. And there's an individual sitting on that bench, and their name is Claire. I know that their name is Claire because I've seen this person, this human being, many times at St. Thomas Church, scooping out food for the needy and the poor of our city, and that just made my heart glow. People that do that, well, those are the kind of people I want to talk to. I want to say hi. I want to be friendly to. It's important to me. Claire was wearing a wicked cool NASA sweatshirt. And I love NASA. There's been so many careers that I've aspired to do in my crazy life. And every red-blooded American male at some time in their life wants to be an astronaut. This guy included. So I gave this person a compliment on their wicked cool sweatshirt, and I said, "Hey, miss, I like your sweatshirt." Big mistake. Big mistake. What I did not know is that Claire is a binary person. They don't use pronouns like he or she. They prefer pronouns like them, they. So with one kind gesture, I put my foot in my mouth to the 10th degree. Sadly, apparently, it was an unforgivable sin because Claire has made it absolutely 100% crystal clear that they do not like me and they do not want to talk to me, which makes me feel a little bit sad inside. I went to the healing place recently and I talked to an individual that had jet black fingernail polish on their fingertips. They had several piercings in their nose, all over their face. But I could see the kindness in this human being's eyes. And I asked them, "Do you mind if I call you sir?" Because for me, it's a form of respect. It's how I was trained. It's how I was brought up. And Kyle did not have a problem with me calling him sir. So I learned a lesson from Claire that when you open your mouth, there's a chance you're gonna make somebody mad or even disrespect someone without you even trying. So that's a hard lesson to learn when you're trying to make the world a better place, especially through the power of speech. The next chapter involved me going back inside the friendship place to apologize to the staff, saying, "Hey, I want to be known as a guy in town that's all about positivity and kindness. I never want to ruin anybody's day." That's when I met Quinn, the other director of the friendship place. And I could tell she did not want me there either. Me asking to film this amazing mural here on the side of the Theta Clark print shop comes much later in the story, but since I'm here and done with my poem and looking both ways before crossing the street so I don't get hit by another black pickup truck, yeah, that comes much later in the story. I just sent an email today to the gentleman that owns that building where Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, Yoshi, and my favorite from Super Smash Brothers, Bowser, is on the wall. I asked him if I could use that little corner right there to the right of the mural to write poetry, to inspire people in the city, and to promote fellowship, kindness, and cooperation with the people that run the friendship place. He gave me a one-line response that said, "Hey, you draw on my wall, I'm calling the police on you, and I will charge you with trespassing." Fair enough. So I wrote him an email about that today saying, "You know what, sir? That is a real shame." And I hope he owns a lot of buildings in Neenah and maybe Menasha. And I sent him some sincere regards. I hope none of your buildings were damaged. And if he's ever in town in Neenah, I would love to buy him a cup of coffee and talk to him. My guess is if he owns buildings in town, he's probably well-to-do. So he might not have, time to suffer my nonsense because I'm a poor person. Well, I'm rich in a lot of other things. I'm rich in courage. So I hope he finds that email in his mailbox and he considers it. I would love to buy him a cup of coffee and talk to him about making Neenah a better place with him. There's a chance it could happen. Even if it's a small chance, I'm always willing to take that stretch, to reach for it, to try to make the world around me a better place. All right. Now I got to think, what's the next chapter in the friendship story? I think I need to go to St. Thomas Church, but what's the time? 9 o'clock. I don't want to be late for church myself, so that might have to wait. That might have to wait till after church. The next chapter of Gabe's dad adventures with the friendship place takes here at St. Thomas Church. That door is locked now. I just tried it, but I see people working in the kitchen, probably getting ready to dispense more food, more comfort, more kindness, and more hope. Been a lot of that going on here ever since the storm hit. And it's been going on long before that, probably for decades. Anyway, one of my goals is to make sure no homeless people ever die in Neenah again. So I spend a lot of time talking to the people that gather at these free meals. And a lot of them had a lot of interesting things to say about the friendship place, because I see them walking to this free meal from the friendship place quite often. And I'm not going to talk about what they say, because that's private. But it gave me fuel in the fire to think, you know what? I'm really doing what I'm supposed to be doing with regards to the friendship place, trying to help give a little bit more hope to people that need it in a different way. I don't know if they still do it. I don't know if Hope, Quinn, and Lori still come into St. Thomas Church to scoop out meals like Claire did, because I think they realize, hey, there's a good chance that Mr. Gurr is going to be there. That's the scary version of Gabe's dad, and that's all they can see. I had some brief conversations with Lori, who's kind of the big boss lady of the friendship place, asking her questions about her establishment, and super defensive, super rude. These are all my opinions, of course, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the friendliest human being that you ever encountered on earth, she was throwing like a 2. Super unfriendly to me. And I thought that was kind of curious as well. So my wife and I really want to make our community better, especially for people that have special needs. And the people that go to the friendship place, in my opinion, these are not people that have jobs, pretty much. These are people that don't drive cars. They have a teeny tiny parking lot at the friendship place that, well, houses their van for outings and the vehicles of the people that work there. There's no room for anybody else to park their car, but I have never seen anybody driving to and from the friendship place. I know from my experience that the special needs people in our communities need to be taken care of 110%. Like, I believe that with every fiber of my being, and anything I can do to empower people with special needs, to make them feel good about themselves, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. The big reason behind all of this. And I want everybody that's made it this far to stop a second and think, why would I sacrifice my peace, which is very, very, very important to me, to do this, to try to help out the Friendship Place? Well, it's all on Claire. Like, Claire is a person that'll walk up to someone eating a cheeseburger and say, I'm a vegan. And more importantly, after the people here are done praying to God, she'll walk up to people. They will walk up to people. He will walk up to people. I don't know what's the right answer there. And say, I'm an atheist. I want Claire to feel like I feel for one day. One of the things that I do each time I come to St. Thomas is I pray for people. Whenever I say a prayer for someone, I light a candle, and if that person is a male, I light a blue candle. And if that person is female, well, I light a red candle. I light a lot of red candles because I always pray for my best girl, my angel. I've been praying lately that her headaches go away and she's feeling better. The summer's almost done. It's so hard. So hard. But I don't know if Claire would be disgusted, revolted, and made furious by the fact that I've been praying for they, them, ever since I met they, them. So when I pray for Claire, I light a blue candle and a red candle, just so, I got all the bases covered. The greatest teacher of the world, died for everybody. Everybody. I'm willing to stick my neck out, go to jail, pay a big fine, have my reputation dismantled for one binary person named Claire. So why am I doing all this? It's for Claire. The next chapters of the story with the Friendship Place involve a lot of emails to city officials, to the president of the Friendship Place, which is a nonprofit, to the ladies that work there. And the reason that I did that is because I was walking on the sidewalk and Lori, the director of the Friendship Place, saw me from across the street and said, "Hi, Gerald." And in not a very friendly, kind of sarcastic tone. And I smiled because, hey, anytime anybody says hello to me, that makes me feel good, if it's sincere or not. Because when there's a lion walking around, any porcupine, any fox, any possum, any badger that stops and says hello to that lion, well, I have that animal's respect. So I have said hello several times now to Lori, Hope, and Quinn when they're taking their lunch break at their little card table outside of the Friendship Place. They haven't responded since. I think it's been about 3 or 4 times that I've said hello and they have not reciprocated my greeting. And that does not bother me. When a lion walks by and the possum plays dead, I do not blame that possum. If the porcupine curls up into a little ball and gets its spikes ready, I don't blame that porcupine. God made lions lions. God makes us who we are. And I am done apologizing for that. Done. Some people might say, well, hey, Mr. Gurr, you're kind of a bully. That's an opinion, and I disagree with that. I always treat people with kindness, and I always treat people with respect. The people at the Friendship Place, the word that is used to describe them 9 times out of 10 by the people that I talk to is nice. Lions are not nice. I am not a nice person. I am a kind person. If you are doing something that is not helping you, if you are being cruel to yourself, I'm not going to ignore that behavior. I'll try to stop what you're doing and point out what I see. There's a good chance if I put this video to public that, you know what? We're going to make you squirm, Mr. Gurr, or Gabe's dad. We're going to put you up in front of the city, in front of a judge. We got witnesses, we got evidence. How do you feel? I feel fantastic. You could put me in an electric chair with a lie detector attached to it, set it on super crispy. I will always tell the truth. Always. And I wonder if Quinn, Hope, and Lori were sitting in that chair with the lie detector ready to fry you like Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I asked the simple question, when Claire walks into your door at the Friendship Place, are you full of happiness? Are you full of joy? Are you excited that they are there today? I wonder what they would say. Because this is the truth. If the Friendship Place was on fire and there were people in there screaming for help, I would bust through that plate glass window and save them all. It's what I do. And I don't apologize for it. Never. Part of me wants to walk back down Commercial Street and film a little bit more footage in front of the window at the Friendship Place, but I'm not going to do that. You are who you hang out with. I say that all the time, especially to my son Garrison. If you hang out with lions, you will become a lion. Moving forward, what's going to happen? Well, every time I see Lori, Quinn, or Hope sitting outside the Friendship Place, I'm going to say hi. I'm going to say good morning or good afternoon. Always. I wave and greet everybody in the town of Neenah. No exceptions. And if I see Claire, I'm going to do the same. And I'm going to try to look Claire in the eye. The first few times I interacted with Claire, they were so anxious with me being there, they had to leave the room. We've interacted probably about half a dozen times now, and in fact, our last interaction, we were standing in line next to each other, waiting some free food at St. Paul's Lutheran Church together. I was talking to Jeff, and I could tell that Claire was uncomfortable, but Claire was dealing with it. Very, very proud of Claire. You are who you hang out with. People that hang out with me, they become empowered. Maybe one of these times, someday, down the road, Claire and I can sit down at a table together at St. Paul's or St. Thomas, and we can have a conversation. Will it ever happen? Probably not. Probably not. But I'm ready. I'm always ready. If someone's willing to take a leap of faith and talk to me.